Like the title says, you already know what time it is. It's a brand new day. It's a brand new moon. And around certain parts in the world, it's prime time. And you know what they say? You got to get in when it's getting good. So tap in. And like the title says, we trying to get motivated. We trying to motivate the warriors, the scholars, the revolutionaries, the heroes, the luminaries, the do-gooders, the great doers, the ones that's building, planning, fortifying, rectifying. Oh, it's a great time. It's a great time. So let's do the damn thing.
By now, let me tell you, if you are not a conspiracy theorist by now, let me tell you, if you are not a conspiracy theorist by now, it's because
you are not intelligent.
They wasn't ready for this back then. They probably not ready for it now. Those that sleep forever gonna be sleep. Those that woke, woke.
Yo soy la reencarnación de Tupac Amaru.
Wait, what?
De Tupac Amaru.
Tupac.
Yo soy la reencarnación de Tupac Amaru.
That's lit.
De Tupac Amaru.
Gang. Each one takes time to succeed. This one is dedicated for the children of the sun. Each one takes time to succeed. This one is dedicated for the children of the sun. They sold us the illusion of democracy and freedom. Now they worry that my music has the power of healing. Unleashing all the demons fed through TV and through lies. They rule by secrecy. Why do you think justice blind? Each one takes time to succeed. This one is dedicated for the children of the sun. Each one takes time to succeed. This one is dedicated for the children of the sun. They sold us the illusion of democracy and freedom. Now they worry that my music has the power of healing. Unleashing all the demons fed through TV and through lies. They rule by secrecy. Why do you think justice blind? Each one takes time to succeed. This one is dedicated for the children of the sun. Each one takes time to succeed. This one is dedicated for the children of the sun.
Reencarnación de Tupac Amaru.
That's hot.
De Tupac Amaru.
That's hard.
Yo soy la reencarnación de Tupac Amaru.
Too real.
De Tupac Amaru.
I know you've been patiently waiting, miseducated, anxiously aching for a blue eye to say it, but I'ma do you a favor. Unlearn what you've learned. The proof is on fire. Let that motherfucker burn. Babylon's on fire. The devil's a liar. They know that they time's up. So wise up and rise up.
Yo soy la reencarnación de Tupac Amaru.
That's fire.
De Tupac Amaru.
More fire.
Yo soy la reencarnación de Tupac Amaru.
That's lit.
De Tupac Amaru.
Gang. Each one takes time to succeed. This one is dedicated for the children of the sun. Each one takes time to succeed. This one is dedicated for the children of the sun.
They sold us the illusion of democracy and freedom. Now they worry that my music has the power of healing. Unleashing all the demons fed through TV and through lies. They rule by secrecy. Why do you think justice blind? They sold us the illusion of democracy and freedom. Now they worry that my music has the power of healing. Unleashing all the demons fed through TV and through lies. They rule by secrecy. Why do you think justice blind?
Soy la reencarnación de Tupac Amaru.
Hold up.
De Tupac Amaru.
Wait, what?
Yo soy la reencarnación de Tupac Amaru. De Tupac Amaru.
Okay.
Is there a crisis in the United States when it comes to mental health issues? Absolutely.
This is just a test. Microphone. Hello. Please listen to my demo. This whole world is a ghetto.
Or is this world a mental hospital? Or is this world a mental hospital?
Insane asylum, crazy house, loony bin.
Or is it a prison? This world's
world's a mental hospital, or is it a plantation? This world's a mental hospital, or is it a farm? This world's a mental hospital, or is it a program?
Let me tell you something.
The first law,
It's all mental.
prepare
For the winter.
for survival. And these rivals, we ain't gonna speak about. If you knew better, then you do better. That there just ain't set. There just ain't it's the frequency and the energy. That's just how we rock. I spit this game, crystal clear. But your distance don't come near. I've been at this social distancing even before I was a teen. Even before it became a thing. We just called it sucker free. My folks just called it sucker free. The streets just called it sucker free. This is just a test. This is just a what? Microphone check 1 2. Microphone check 1 2. Hello, hello, hello. This is just a test. This is just a who? Microphone check 1 2. Microphone check 1 2. Hello, hello, hello. This is just a test. 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 This is just a test.
Please listen to my demo.
Demo, 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 demo.
This whole world is a ghetto.
Ghetto, ghetto, ghetto. Or is this world a mental hospital?
I'm your host here in Insane Asylum World.
The mental hospital. Or is it a prison?
The whole world's crazy.
The mental hospital. Or is it a plantation?
All of us are
The
nuts.
mental hospital. Or is it a farm?
The whole world's crazy.
The mental hospital. Or is it a program?
All of us are nuts.
The mental hospital. Or is it a school?
The whole world's crazy.
The mental hospital. Or is it a battlefield?
All of us are nuts.
The mental hospital. Or is it a hell?
The whole world's crazy.
Only thing that's gonna get
Yeah, some people say this whole world is crazy. Yeah. You know, I'm beginning to, without a doubt, without a doubt, think that this realm that we're in, it's a hell. Kind of controversial, I know. But we're going to speak our minds and we're going to consider the information. We're going to evaluate the facts. Then later on, we're going to reevaluate the information. And I'm leaning towards that. The more that I study, the more that I learn, the more that I elevate, the deeper I get. But I tell you that I'm enjoying the ride. I'm enjoying the process. And miracles happen in my life every day. So I hope that it's the same for you, beloved. I hope that everything is going according to plan, but I know that we all have to be doing what we have to be doing. A lot of people, a lot of people want to put it in God's hands. And last time I heard, he puts it in our hands. So there's a bit of a conundrum there, or an irony. I believe that God needs us. God needs you. So I've seen a minute ago that I needed to step my game up. Then I needed to level up. I needed to learn a lot. as fast as possible. As fast as possible. Because there was just a lot to learn. So I decided a long time ago, many moons ago, I began that journey. What journey what journey might that be? Well, I'll show you. I'll show you. This here, the hero's journey. We will be we will be a topic we will be discussing is here's the known. A call to adventure, then supernatural aid, threshold guardians, then we go into the unknown, threshold, beginning of transformation, helpers, mentors, challenges, and temptations. Helper, revelation, abyss, death, and rebirth. Just the death and rebirth, that's another topic of great discussion we will have later on also. Just that. Because many people do not want to get rid of the old. And we can't go into the new still holding on to the old. What's that phrase everyone uses around New Year's Eve? Out with the old, in with the new. You don't have to wait till that New Year's Eve Gregorian calendar phrase. You don't have to wait till New Year's Eve to start a New Year's revolution. You don't need to do none of that. What we have to understand is these cycles right here, right now. Every day is a cycle. Every week is a cycle. Every month or month is a cycle. It just happens to be that today is a new moon. Today is a new moon. So the revelation, transformation, atonement, and the return. It's the illustration of the hero's journey. Interesting stuff there. Interesting stuff there we got going on. The narratology and comparative mythology. The hero's journey, also known as the monomyth, is the common template of stories that involve a hero who goes on an adventure. That's us, beloved. That's us. That's you and me. That's you and me, brother and sister. That's us. Is victorious in a decisive crisis, and comes home changed or transformed. Now, this sounds familiar. Some of y'all might have heard of before. Earlier figures had proposed similar concepts, including psychoanalyst Otto Rank and amateur anthropologist Lord Raglan. Eventually, Hero myth pattern studies were popularized by Joseph Campbell, who was influenced by Carl Jung's analytical psychology. Campbell used the monolith to analyze and compare religions. Very important topic. We need to compare religions. It ain't the age of faith no more. It ain't the era of faith no more. Some of y'all are still stuck in old matrices. Not here, beloved. Not here. Not with me. Not in, and not only with me, but there's a lot of people that just ain't tolerating the BS anymore. In his book, A Hero with 1,000 Faces, he describes the narrative patterns as follows. Might have to read this book. A hero ventures forth from the world of common day into a region of supernatural wonder. Fabulous forces are there encountered, and a decisive victory is won. The hero comes back from this mysterious adventure with the power to bestow boons on his fellow man. I'm telling you, this is us. This is our story. Campbell's theories regarding the concept of the monomyth have been the subject of criticism from scholars, particularly folklorists. Scholars active in folklore studies have been dismissed the concept as a non-scholarly approach suffering from the source selection bias. Among other criticism, more recently, the hero's journey has been analyzed as an example of the sympathetic plot, a universal narrative structure in which a goal directed protagonist confronts obstacles, overcomes them, and eventually reaps reward. See, that's us right there. We confront obstacles, we overcome them, and eventually we reap our reward. What's the background on this? The study of hero myth narratives can be traced back to 1871. Cap, with anthropologist Edward Bernal Tyler's observations of common patterns in the plot of Hero's Journey. In narratology and comparative mythology, others have proposed narrative patterns such as psychoanalyst Otto Rank in 1909 and amateur anthropologist Lord Raglan in 1936. Both Rank and Raglan have lists of cross cultural traits often found in the accounts of mythical heroes and discuss hero narrative patterns in terms of Freudian psychoanalysis and ritualism. According to Robert Siegel, the theories of Rank, Campbell, and Raglan typify the array of analysis of hero myths. I ain't just talking about us. Terminology, how they break down the word. Campbell borrowed the word monomyth from James Joyce's Finnegan's Wake, 1939. Campbell was a notable scholar of Joyce's work, and in A Skeleton Key to Finnegan's Wake, the skeleton key. So first it was the Finnegan Wake, and then he got the skeleton key to Finnegan's Wake. Co-authored the seminal analysis of Joyce's final novel. Campbell's singular the or the monomyth implies that the hero's journey is the ultimate narrative archetype, but the term monomyth what has occasionally been used more generally as a term for a mythological archetype or a supposed mythium that reoccurs throughout the world's culture. Omri Ronan referred to Vyclevich Ivanov's treatment of Dionysus as an avatar of Christ, as Ivanov's monomyth. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these people don't. The majority of people, they're like, this word Christ. They've been misled. They believe. I think some believe that this word Christ is Jesus' last name. Jesus Christ. So first name Jesus, last name Christ, but none of that is true. Nothing of the sort. The phrase the hero's journey, used in reference to Campbell's monomyth, first entered into popular discourse through two documentaries. The first, released in 1987, The Hero's Journey, The World of Joseph Campbell, was accompanied by 1990 companion book, The Hero's Journey, Joseph Campbell on His Life and Work, with Phil Cusinow and Stuart Brown editors. The second was Bill Moyer's series of seminal interviews with Campbell, released in 1988 as a documentary and companion book, The Power of Myth. Cusinow, in the introduction to the revised edition of The Hero's Journey, wrote, "The monomyth is in effect a metamyth, a philosophical reading of the unity of mankind's spiritual history, the story behind the story." Summary. In his book, The Hero with the Thousand Faces, Campbell describes 17 stages of the monomyth. Not all monomyths necessarily contain all 17 stages explicitly. Some myths may focus on only one of the stages, while others may deal with the stages in somewhat different order. In the terminology of Claude Levi Strauss, the stages are the individual mythemes, which are bundled or assembled into the structure of monoliths. The 70 stages may be organized in a number of ways, including division into 3 acts or sections. Number 1, departure, also separation. Number 2, initiation, sometimes subdivided into A, descent, and B, initiation, and the third, the return. In the departure part of the narrative, the hero or protagonist lives in the ordinary world and receives a call to go on an adventure. The hero is reluctant to follow the call, but is helped by a mentor figure. Dun, 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 dun. The initiation section, bang, bang, gang, gang, begins with the hero then traversing the threshold to an unknown or special world where he faces tasks and trials, either alone or with the assistance of helpers. The hero eventually reaches the innermost cave or the central crisis of his adventure, where he must undergo the ordeal, where he overcomes the main obstacle or enemy, undergoing apotheosis, or oh no, and gaining his reward, a treasure or elixir. Treasure or elixir. In the return section, the hero must return to the ordinary world with his reward. He may be pursued by the guardians of the special world, or he may be reluctant to return and may be rescued or forced to return by intervention from the outside. The hero again traverses the threshold between the worlds, returning to the ordinary world with the treasure or elixir he gained, which he may now use for the benefit of his fellow man. The hero himself is transformed by the adventure and gains wisdom or spiritual power over both worlds. Uh, that right there is the intention in our blueprint and our game plan for this here channel of the Society of Luminaries. Anybody that's going to be part of this society is going to gain wisdom and spiritual power. How? I mean, a lot of people don't understand the process, but this is a spiritual journey. So this is broken down now. So you got the Campbell's version and you got Christopher Vogler's version. And I didn't even know about these books, you know. Hopefully God permits and we're allowed to have the time to read these books. Hopefully a lot of you already have, because I know I'm late. You know, there's no problem about that. So the Campbell number one, the call to adventure. Number one for him is the ordinary world. Number two, refusal of the call. Number two here is call to adventure. Supernatural aid. Three, refusal of the call. Four, crossing of the first threshold. Four, meeting with mentor. Meeting with the mentor. Five, part of the last part of the departure, belly of the whale. Crossing the first threshold. Now we're in the initiation phase. Number six, the round of trials. Six for what's his name? The Vogler. Test, allies, and enemies. Number seven, meeting with the goddess. Oh yes, I love this phase. Number seven, approach the inmost cave. Eight, women of the temptress. It's a swamp out there. Deadly minefields. Better be careful. Some can't handle this part. Some never get out of this part. Uh, the eight, the ordeal. Yeah, sounds right. Women temptress ordeal. Sounds right. Number nine, for Campbell, atonement with the Father. This is all deep to me. I'm getting insight. I didn't have this prepared. I'm just getting insight right now. Number nine, the reward. 10, apotheosis. And 11, the ultimate boon. Now we continue with the return, and then that's where what's his name, Vogler continues. Refusal of the return, the magic flight, rescue from without, and then Vogler continues with 10, the road back, the resurrection, and the last, the 12th is return with the elixir. We continue with the other one is 15, the crossing of the return threshold. 16, master of two worlds. See, this is where me personally, this is where I want to be. You know what I mean? I want to be master of these worlds. You know, as far as master of oneself, not master of the universe like He-Man. Nah, you know what I mean? Or Skeletor, nothing like that. Nah, that's the other folks. Over here, I want to be master of myself and master of the worlds. See, that's right there is master of two worlds. And the last 17, freedom to live. Can I live? Can I kick it? Campbell's 17 stages, the departure, the call to adventure. The hero begins in a situation of normality from which some information is received that acts as a call to head off into the unknown. According to Campbell, this region is represented by, this is according to his words, a distant land, a forest, a kingdom underground, beneath the waves or above the sky, a secret island, lofty mountaintop, or profound dream state. But it is always a place of strangely fluid and polymorphous beings, unimaginable torments, superhuman deeds, and impossible delight. The hero can go forth of their own volition to accomplish the adventure, as did Theseus when he arrived in his father's city, Athens, and heard the horrible history of the Minotaur, or they may be carried or sent abroad by some benign or malignant agent, as was Odysseus, driven about the Mediterranean by the winds of the angered god Poseidon. The adventure may begin as a mere blunder, or still, again, One may be only casually strolling when some passing phenomenon catches the wandering eye and lures one away from the frequented paths of man. Examples might be multiplied ad infinitum from every corner of the world. This is indeed some deep stuff, and only those in the path will relate. Some might have never heard of this before, but just hearing this, like I am right now, can relate to the T. I can even add some other words that would befit my situation, but there's no need. There's no need. Refusal of the call. Often, when the call is given, the future hero first refuses to heed it. This may be from a sense of duty or obligation, fear, insecurity, a sense of inadequacy, or any of a range of reasons that work to hold the person in his current circumstances. See, this is exactly what I was, before I even read this, this is exactly what I was telling you. I knew I had to step my game up because I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready for this. I'm glad I'm light years away from where I was, but I'm still, far from where I want to be. Campbell says that refusal of the summons converts the adventure into its negative, walled in boredom, hard work, or quote unquote culture. The subject loses the power of significant affirmative action and becomes a victim to be saved. That's where a lot of y'all are. That's exactly where a lot of people, the majority of people, are. They want to be saved. They want to be saved by Captain Save a Ho and this and that. Bro, ain't nobody coming to save you. Nobody. The only way we can make it out if we help ourselves. And I ain't working with other crabs in the bucket. I'm okay with being in the bucket, but I ain't working with them other crabs. His flowering world becomes a wasteland of dry stones, and his life feels meaningless. Even though, like King Minos, he may he may through titanic effort succeed in building an empire of renown. Hmm. Deep, 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 deep. Whatever house he builds, it will be a house of death, a labyrinth of cyclopean walls to hide from him and his minotaur. All he can do is create new problems for himself and await the gradual approach of his disintegration. I mean, everything I'm reading right now, beloved, it's just falling into place from what I my experience of what's been going on. For the longest now, I've heard of people building and getting out of one problem just to get into another problem because they're missing the whole point, the core, the foundation. They think that just jumping from one job to another job is gonna resolve their misery. So I relate to everything what I'm reading. And like I told you, beloved, I didn't have this. I didn't have. I'm learning this as I'm going right now. Of course, I mean I know it because I lived it, right? Like that's why I can relate to everything what I'm reading because I've lived it already. You know, I am that hero. I am who I am. This is not a fluke, and I know I am not the only one. I'm not, special like that. There's a ton of other brothers and sisters, you know what I mean, in the same situation. going through the same thing. We just got to find each other. And then greater things will happen. But like it says here, how many people, look, look. He may, through titanic effort, succeed in building an empire of renown. Whatever house he builds, it will be a house of death. See, all success ain't success. All money ain't good money. Supernatural aid. Let's see. Let's see if what stage we're on. Let's see what stage we're on. Once the hero, remember, we're not just reading Wikipedia. This is you and I we're talking about. You and me. Once the hero has committed to the question, consciously or unconsciously, their guide and magical helper appears or becomes known. More often than not, this supernatural mentor will present the hero with one or more talismans or artifacts that will aid them later in the quest. This is so deep, beloved, and I'm glad we're sharing it together. And if you're not tapping in live at the moment, that's okay. I hope you can catch it later on. Or if you don't like how I'm breaking it down and sharing with me, maybe you just take note, jot it down, and go do your own damn research. Whichever way. Don't it don't bother me. You know, I wish that our journeys could be together because I know that's when the true greatness will happen. Campbell writes, what such a figure represents is benign, protecting power of destiny. The fantasy is a reassurance, promise that the peace of paradise, which was known first within the mother womb, is not to be lost, that it supports the present and stands in the future as well as in the past, is Omega as well as Alpha. That though im, um, omnipotence may seem to be endangered by the threshold of the world, one has only to know and trust, and the ageless guardians will appear, having responded to their own call, continuing to follow courageously as the consequences unfold. The hero finds all the forces of the unconscious at their side. Mother Nature herself supports the mighty task. And in so far as the hero's act coincides with that for which their society itself is ready, they seem to ride on the great rhythm of the historic process. Come on, beloved, stop playing. Why y'all wasting time on some other BS when you can't be here? When you can be tapping in to this, why are they not teaching this to our children? Well, why do we even need to ask that? Why can't we teach? Because we're not there yet, are we? Are we? But I know if you find this channel and you watch this video and you tapping in for the little bit of time that we've been on right now, beloved, beloved, you might be the difference maker. Not in the little in the little on our little circles. No, I'm talking about in times still coming. Of course, I wish there was more. I wish there were buku of us. But so what? It don't matter no more. I'm enjoying this journey, even if it's just me, myself, and I. Yeah, I'm my own best friend. I mean, beloved, I love talking to my brothers and sisters, but I just can't stand just talking about low frequency stuff anymore. I need to be uplifted, just like I wish to be of service. And when I speak, I leave a trigger, but a positive trigger. I hope I'm doing some service, beloved. The crossing of the first threshold. Let's see how many are here. Let's see how many already crossed this threshold. I believe I've already crossed it because all this other thing it just it's like a telling of my life. It's my story so far. Let's continue. This is the point where the hero, remember, beloved, this is you and I, me and you, your mother and your cousin too, rolling down the strip on Vogues, coming up slamming Cadillac doors. It's the hero, beloved. The hero actually crosses into the field of adventure, leaving the unknown limits of their world, their hood, their block, their barrio, their city, their state, the country, and venturing into an unknown and dangerous realm where the rules and limits are unknown. This could even be a jail. That's a whole nother world. Campbell tells us. What does Campbell tell us? Let's break Campbell's word. Even though, it's kind of it's not in layman's term how Campbell writes, but I could dig it. With the personification of his destiny to guide and aid him, the hero goes forward in his adventure until he or she, beloved, comes to the threshold guardian at the entrance to the zone of magnified power. Such custodians bound the world in four directions, also up and down, standing for the limits of the hero's present for the hero's present sphere or life horizon. Beyond them is darkness, the unknown, and danger, just as beyond the parental watch is a danger to the infant, and beyond the protection of his society, danger to the members of the tribe. I wish I had some suspenseful music right now, beloved, because you know what I mean? I'm getting chills up my spine. I hope you are too. I hope that you are feeling loved, that you are feeling wanted, because we are the truth and we are building slowly but surely. Danger to the infant and beyond the protection of his society, danger to the members of the tribe. The usual person is more than content. He is even proud to remain within the indicated bounds. And popular belief gives him every reason to fear, so much as the first step into the unexplored. I definitely go, most likely gonna have to go read this book. I know I heard the name somewhere before, but like I told you, I'm a late bloomer, you know. That's why, I don't expect to, for everyone to relate with me. Um, I believe that I'm going to be related to those who relate that I should be related. I don't believe that I'm for everybody. I don't believe that we could please everybody. I'm not those types. You know, I only rock with the real, and the real recognize the real. I can't stand anything else. He continues, the adventure is always and everywhere a passage beyond the veil of the known into the unknown. The powers that watch at the boundary are dangerous. To deal with them is risky, yet, for anyone with competence and courage, the danger fades. Now, this is a key word right here, competence. A lot of people can't even spell that word, let alone uh, know the importance of it. Let us continue. Belly of the whale. The belly of the whale represents the final separation from the hero's known world and self. By entering this stage, the person shows a willingness to undergo a metamorphosis. You see that? Metamorphosis. Let me say that again, metamorphosis. Not a beta, a meta. When first entering the stage, the hero may encounter a minor danger or setback. According to Campbell, he says, the idea that the passage of the magical threshold is a transit into a sphere of rebirth. Hold on, let me repeat that again. I apologize. I just want to, really, sink my teeth into this. While the others sink their teeth into bloody meat, I want to sink my teeth into this juicy knowledge. The idea that the passage of the magical threshold is a transit into a sphere of rebirth is symbolized in the worldwide womb image of the belly of the whale. The hero, instead of conquering or conciliating the power of the threshold, is swallowed, like TJ Jakes, is swallowed into the unknown and would appear to have died. R.I.P. Yeah, I done killed myself many times. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not once, not twice, many a times. Necessarily. Yeah, not on some suicidal shit. On some this. It's very important. Like in the Navy, I believe it's the Navy SEALs, that one exercise where they tie them and they throw them in the pool. The part of that exercise is to train them to let go. People die in that exercise because they want to fight and they want to swim to the top and do like my brother was talking about the other day about being in the river. You want to survive and you want to swim against but it's counterproductive. Sometimes you just gotta let go and get swallowed up. He continues, this popular motif gives emphasis to the lesson that the passage of the threshold is a form of self annihilation. Instead of passing outward beyond the confines of the visible world, the hero goes inward to be born again. The disappearance corresponds to the passing of a worshiper into the temple, where he is to be quickened by the recollection of who and what he is, namely dust and ashes, unless immortal. The temple interior, the belly of the whale, and the heavenly land beyond, above, and below, the confines of the world, are one and the same. Boy, this dude is poetic, man. I might have to go read this thoroughly. Because remember, this is Wikipedia right here, right now. That is why the approaches of and entrances to temples are flanked and defended by colossal gargoyles, equivalent to the two rows of teeth of the whale. What temples are brought with gargoyles? They illustrate the fact that the devotee at the moment of entry into a temple undergoes a metamorphosis. I might have to change. I might have to change this up from the Society of Luminaries to the Temple of Luminaries. Yeah, because it's a metamorphosis over here. It's transformation over here. We're not doing this just to be here. No, sirree, Bob. We're not doing nothing for nothing. You got to be confused. Y'all got me mixed up with somebody else. We doing this for one reason, for metamorphosis. Before you can build, you got to destroy. Because some of y'all want to build a temple on top of a trash. No, that sound sacrilegious, man. That sound like blasphemy. Like what the hell? Nah. We gonna do something. We gonna do something right. We gonna do something right. Yeah, let's weed out all these suckers and marks and lames and weasels and all these riffraffs that just talk a high powered game and just get the cream of the crop, because the cream of the crop always rise to the top. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Once inside, he or she may be said to have died to time and returned to the world womb, the world navel, the earthly paradise. Some of y'all hate women. That's why y'all, can't respect the womb. I want to put man over women. Allegorically, then, the passage into a temple and the hero dive through the jaws of the whale are identical adventures, both denoting in picture language the life centering, life renewing act. The majority of people know this story through Jesus, through the Jesus story. And it's sad because a lot of people, that's the only story that they know. In the exemplary book of Jonah, the eponymous Israelite, the hell is this? Let me see something here. Let me see something here. Yeah, a heifer sounds right. We're gonna take this out. The book of Jonah is one of the 12 minor prophets of the Nevi'im prophets in the Hebrew Bible. Mm, we're gonna take you out too and put you in the Jew files. The eponymous Israelite refuses God's command to prophesy the destruction of Nineveh and attempts to flee by sailing to Tarshish. A storm arises, and the sailors cast lots to determine that Jonah is to blame. He allows himself to be thrown overboard to calm the storm and is saved from drowning by being swallowed by a great fish, quote unquote. Over 3 days, Jonah commits to God's will and he is vomited safely onto the shore. He subsequently goes to Nineveh and preaches to its inhabitants. Jonah's passage through the belly of the whale can be viewed as a symbolic death and rebirth in Jungian analysis. Yeah, a lot of people hate a lot of people, hate this Carl Jung character, because there's a lot of things, a lot of kind of degenerate sick things going on. But I'm the type of person that I use discernment, you know what I mean? I get the game where it's at. I get wisdom and the pearls and the gems. I leave all that other stuff behind, you know. So I could read this. It's just like what I'm reading through here. Remember, this is Wikipedia. But I'm gaining a lot. I'm gaining a lot, brethren. I'm gaining a lot reflection. So I'm hoping that I'm doing of some service, hoping that some people that find this, maybe they didn't know about this hero's journey or about this story, because I had heard about it and I knew about it, but not breaking it down like this. In The Power of Myth, Campbell agrees with Bill Moyers that the original Star Wars film trash compactor scene on the Death Star is a strong example of this step of the journey. The trash compactor scene. Is that the Han Solo one? Oh no. I don't remember all that right now. Initiation. So this is another phase right now. This is like the act 2. The road of trials. The road of trials is a series of tests that the hero must undergo to begin the transformation. Often, the hero fails one or more of these tests, which often occur in threes. So there you go. There you go, reflection. Stay on your toes. Stay on your toes. Eventually, the hero will overcome these trials and move on to the next step. Campbell explains, once having traversed the threshold, the hero moves in a dream landscape of curiously fluid, ambiguous forms where he must survive a succession of trials. This is a favorite phase of the myth adventure. It has produced a world literature of miraculous texts and ordeals. The hero is covertly aided by the advice, amulets, and secret agents of the supernatural helper whom he met before his entrance into this region. Or it may be that he here discovers for the first time that there is a benign power everywhere supporting him in his superhuman passage. Oh yeah, that's great right there. That's what I believe in. I believe that there's a benign power everywhere supporting us. So I'm so happy of that. Let us continue. The original departure into the land of trials represented only the beginning of the long and really perilous path of initiatory conquest and moments of illumination. Dragons have now to be slain and surprising barriers passed. Again and again. Meanwhile, there will be a multitude of preliminary victories, unsustainable ecstasies, and momentary glimpses of the wonderful land. Yeah, I've been here too. And speaking of the goddesses, women, we love you. Women, we love you. Let us, we are approaching the 1 hour mark. I am so pleased that you are here. If you are here and you've made it this far, you might you might be the one. So I salute you. I hope you are hearing this, if not now, here on the live, maybe in the future, on a replay, on a drive, on your headphones, on a walk. It could be monumental. Let us take a let's take a break.
By now, it's because
You are not intelligent.
let me tell you, if you are not a conspiracy theorist by now, it's because
You are not intelligent.
They wasn't ready for this back then. They probably not ready for it now. Those that sleep forever gonna be sleep. Those that woke, woke.
Yo soy la reencarnación de Tupac Amaru.
Wait, what?
De Tupac Amaru.
Tupac.
Yo soy la reencarnación de Tupac Amaru.
That's lit.
De Tupac Amaru.
Gang, gang. Each one takes time to succeed. This one is dedicated for the children of the sun. Each one takes time to succeed. This one is dedicated for the children of the sun. They sold us the illusion of democracy and freedom. Now they worry that my music has the power of healing. Unleashing all the demons fed through TV and through lies. They rule by secrecy, why do you think justice blind? Each one takes time to succeed. This one is dedicated for the children of the sun. Each one takes time to succeed. This one is dedicated for the children of the sun. They sold us the illusion of democracy and freedom. Now they worry that my music has the power of healing. Unleashing all the demons fed through TV and through lies. They rule by secrecy, why do you think justice blind? Each one takes time to succeed. This one is dedicated for the children of the sun. Each one takes time to succeed. This one is dedicated for the children of the sun.
La reencarnación de Tupac Amaru.
That's hot.
De Tupac Amaru.
That's hard.
Yo soy la reencarnación de Tupac Amaru.
Too real.
De Tupac Amaru.
I know you've been patiently waiting, miseducated, anxiously aching for a blue eye to say it, but I'ma do you a favor. Unlearn what you've learned. The roof is on fire, let that motherfucker burn. Babylon's on fire. The devil's a liar. They know that they time's up. So rise up and rise up.
Soy la reencarnación de Tupac Amaru.
That's fire.
De Tupac Amaru.
More fire.
Soy la reencarnación de Tupac Amaru.
That's lit. Gang, gang. Each one takes time to
It takes time, beloved. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes a whole lot of things. And we have to cultivate a culture, cultivate habits of change, habits of transformation, habits of success, habits of love, and enjoy the process, enjoy the ride. Let us return. The meeting with the goddess. I'm humbled. This is where the hero gains items given to him that will help him in the future. Campbell proposes that the ultimate adventure, when all the barriers and ogres have been overcome, is commonly represented as a mystical marriage of the triumphant hero soul with the queen goddess of the world. This is the crisis of the nadir, the zenith, or at the uttermost edge of the earth, at the central point of the cosmos, in the tabernacle of the temple, or within the darkness of the deepest chamber of the heart. I'm rooting for you, beloved. Keep working, keep building those calluses. The meeting with the goddess who is incarnate in every woman, you hear that? Every woman, is the final test of the talent of the hero to win the boon of love, charity, amor fati. We're going to put this out. Which is life itself enjoyed as the encasement of eternity. And when the adventurer in the context, is not a youth but a maid, she is the one who, by her qualities, her beauty, and her yearning, is fit to become the consort of an immortal. Then the heavenly husband descends to her and conducts her to his bed, whether she will or not, and if she has shunned him, the scales fall from her eyes. If she has sought him, her desire finds it peace. Woman as the temptress. In this step, the hero faces those temptations, often of a physical or pleasurable nature, that may lead them to abandon or stray from their quest, which does not necessarily have to be represented by a woman. A woman is a metaphor for the physical or material temptations of life, since the hero knight has often tempted was often tempted by lust from his spiritual journey. Campbell relates that the crux of the curious difficulty lies in the fact that our conscious views of what life ought to be seldom correspond to what life really is. Generally, we refuse to admit within ourselves or within our friends the fullness of that pushing, self protective, malodorous, carnivorous, lecherous fever, which is the very nature of the organic cell. Rather, we tend to perfume, whitewash, and reinterpret, meanwhile imagining that all the flies in the ointment, all the hairs in the soup, are the faults of some unpleasant someone else. But when it suddenly dawns on us, or is forced to our attention, that everything we think or do is necessarily tainted with the odor of the flesh, then, not uncommonly, there is experienced a moment of revulsion. Life, the acts of life, the organs of life, a woman in particular, as the great symbol of life, become intolerable to the pure soul. The seeker of the life beyond life must press beyond the woman, surpass the temptations of her call, and soar to the immaculate ether beyond ism. Let us continue. Atonement with the Father slash abyss. In this step, the hero must confront and be initiated by whatever holds the ultimate power in their life. It may, in many myths and stories, this is the father or a father figure who has life and death power. This is the center point of the journey. All the previous steps have been moving into this place. All that follow will move out from it, although this step is most frequently symbolized by an encounter with a male entity. It does not have to be a male, just someone or something with incredible power. Per Campbell. Per Campbell. Yeah, this video is brought to you by water. Get your water on. There's not too many. There's commercials for Coca Cola, commercials for Pepsi, commercial for those unknown things that they shall not be mentioned from here on. But not commercials for water. Until now, until here, drink your water. Get your water. I am fire water. Let us continue with the fire, more fire. Atonement, making amends, consists in no more than the abandonment of that self-generated double monster, the dragon thought to be God, superego, and the dragon thought to be sin, repressed id. But this requires an abandonment of the attachment to ego itself, and that is what is difficult. One must have faith that the Father is merciful, and then a resilience on that no, a resilience, excuse me, a reliance on that mercy. Therewith, the center of belief is transferred outside of the bedeviling God's tight, scaly ring, and the dreadful ogres dissolve. It is in this ordeal that the hero may derive hope and assurance from the helpful female figure by whose magic, pollen charms, or power of intercession they are protected through all the frightening experiences of the father's ego shattering initiation. For if it is impossible to trust the terrifying father face, then one's faith must be centered elsewhere. In parentheses, Spider Woman, Blessed Mother. And with that reliance for support, one endures the crisis only to find in the end that the father and mother reflect each other and are in essence the same. Campbell later expounds the problem of the hero going to meet his father is to open his soul beyond terror to such a degree that he will be ripe to understand how the sickening and insane tragedies of this vast and ruthless cosmos are completely validated in the majesty of being. The hero transcends life with its peculiar blind spots and for a moment rises to a glimpse of the source. They behold the face of the Father, understand, and the two are atoned. Apotheosis, also called divinization, divinization, and deification, is the glorification of a subject to divine levels, and commonly the treatment of a human being, any other living thing. This is the point of realization in which a greater understanding is achieved. Armed with this new knowledge and perception, the hero is resolved and ready for the more difficult part of the adventure. Campbell discloses that those who know not only that the everlasting lies in them, but that what they in all things really are is the everlasting, dwell in the groves of the wish fulfilling trees, drink the brew of immortality, and listen everywhere to the unheard music of eternal concord. I agree. I concur. The ultimate boon. The ultimate boon is the achievement of the goal of the quest. It is what the hero went on the journey to get. All the previous steps serve to prepare and purify the hero for this step, since in many myths the boon is something transcendent, like the elixir of life itself, or a plant that supplies immortality, or the Holy Grail. There's a lot of information to be broken down. Campbell confers that the gods and goddesses then are to be understood as embodiments and custodians of the elixir of imperishable being, not but not themselves the ultimate in its primary state. What the hero seeks through his intercourse with them is therefore not finally themselves, but their grace. As in examples, the power of their sustaining substance. The miraculous energy substance, and this alone, is the imperishable. The names and forms of the deities who everywhere embody, dispense, and represent it come and go. This is the miraculous energy of the thunderbolts of Zeus, Yahweh, and the Supreme Buddha, the fertility of the reign of Virokosha, the virtue announced by the bell rung in the Mass at the consecration, and the light of the ultimate illumination of the saint and sage. Its guardians dare release it only to the duly proven. That's why I recommend you tap in to the War series. One is dropping this week. One is dropping this week. That would be part 4. Also, we have a PSYOPs. I believe it's also part 4. Two different series, interrelated. The return, refusal of the return. Having found bliss and enlightenment in the other world, the hero may not want to return to the ordinary world to bestow the boon onto their fellow beings, Campbell continues. When the hero quest has been accomplished through penetration to the source, or through the grace of some male or female, human or animal personification, the adventurer still must return with his life transmuting trophy. The full round, the norm of the monomyth, requires that the hero shall now begin the labor of bringing the runes of wisdom, the golden fleece, or his sleeping princess back into the kingdom of humanity, where the boon may redound to the renewing of the community, the nation, the planet, or the 10,000 worlds. But the responsibility has been frequently refused. Even Gautama Buddha, after his triumph, doubted whether the message of realization could be communicated, and saints are reported to have died while in the supernal ecstasy. Numerous indeed are the heroes fabled to have taken up residence forever in the blessed isle of the unaging goddess of immortal being. The magic flight. Sometimes the hero must escape with the boon if it is something that the gods have been jealously guarding. It can be just as adventurous and dangerous returning from the journey as it was to go on in it. To go on in it. Campbell argues that if the hero in his triumph wins the blessing of the goddess or the god and is then explicitly commissioned to return to the world with some elixir for the restoration of society, the final stage of his adventure is supported by all the powers of his supernatural patron. On the other hand, if the trophy has been attained against the opposition of its guardian, or if the hero's wish to return to the world has been resented by the gods or demons, then the last stage of the mythological round becomes a lively, often comical pursuit. This flight may be complicated by marvels of magical obstruction and evasion. Rescue from without. Just as the hero may need guides and assistants to set out on the quest, often they must be powerful guides and rescuers to bring them back to everyday life, especially if the hero has been wounded or weakened by the experience. Campbell elucidates the hero may have to be brought back from his supernatural adventure by assistance from without. There, that is to say, the world may have to come and get him, for the bliss of the deep abode is not lightly abandoned in favor of the disorder of the wakened state. Society is jealous of those who remain away from it and will come knocking at the door. If the hero is unwilling, the disturber suffers an ugly shock. But on the other hand, if the summoned one is only delayed, sealed in by the death like rapture, coma, of a perfect being, an apparent rescue is effected, and the adventurer returns back to life, back to reality. Mhm. Very deep, beloved, very deep reflection. The crossing of the return threshold. Campbell says in The Hero with a Thousand Faces that, quote, the returning hero to complete his adventure must survive the impact of the world, unquote. The goal of the return is to retain the wisdom gained on the quest and to integrate it into society, Campbell writes. Many, many failures attest to the difficulties of this life affirmative threshold. The first problem of the returning hero is to accept as real. After an experience of the soul satisfying vision of fulfillment, the ups and downs of life, why re enter such a world? Why share the experience of transcendental bliss? As dreams that were momentous by night may seem simply silly in the light of day. So the poet and the prophet can discover themselves playing the idiot before others. The easy thing is to commit the whole community to the devil and retire again into bliss. But if some spiritual obstetrician has drawn the Shimenawa across the retreat, then the work of distilling eternal truth cannot be avoided. That's a good way to look at what we do here. We're distilling. This is a distillment process. Master of the two worlds. This is where I'm really interested to hear what it says. For a human hero, it may mean achieving a balance between the material and spiritual. The person has become comfortable and competent in both the inner and outer worlds. Campbell demonstrates that. Freedom to pass back and forth across the world division from the perspective of the apparitions of time to that of the casual deep and back, not contaminating the principles of the one with those of the other, yet per- permitting the mind to know the one by virtue of the other, is the talent of the master. The cosmic dancer, declares Nietzsche, does not rest heavily in a single spot, but gaily, lightly turns and keeps from one position to another. It is possible to speak from only one point at a time, but that does not invalidate the insights of the rest. Very, very informative. Discussing this stage, Campbell cites the apostles of Jesus, who had become selfless in their devotion by the time of their master's transfiguration, as well as the similar orthodoxy presented by Krishna, who said, "He who does my work and regards me as the supreme goal without hatred for any creature, he comes with me." Campbell goes on to illustrate that the individual, through prolonged psychological disciplines, gives up completely all attachment to his personal limitations, idiosyncrasies, hopes, and fears, no longer resist the self annihilation, annihilation that is prerequisite to rebirth in the realization of truth, and so becomes ripe at last for the great at one meant. Exactly. At one meant. His personal ambitions being totally dissolved, he no longer tries to live but willingly relaxes to whatever may come to pass in him. He becomes, that is to say, an anonymity. And I believe this is the last one. Freedom to live. Can I be? In this step, mastery leads to freedom from the fear of death, which in turn is the freedom to live. This is sometimes referred to as living in the moment, neither anticipating the future nor regretting the past, Campbell declares. The hero is the champion of things becoming, not of things become, because he is, quote, before Abraham was, I am, unquote. He does not mistake apparent changelessness in time for the permanence of being, nor is he fearful of the next moment or of the other thing as destroying the permanent with its change. Quoting Ovid's Metamorphosis, nothing retains its own form, but nature, the greater renewer, ever makes up forms from forms. Be sure that nothing perishes in the whole universe. It does but vary and renew its form, unquote. Thus, the next moment is permitted to come to pass. We are going to pause there. The next part is popular culture, where we might do another part, but we are exactly 1 hour and 30 in. I believe that many people cannot concentrate long enough in these days and times. Reading history, I see that people used to line up to hear 4 hour speeches, and that was their form of entertainment. Different time, different people, different frequency. I am I accept this time I'm in, and I am greatly appreciative and in gratitude for a lot of things. Um, I I hope I did some service. I'm glad that we did this together. Hopefully, it reaches whoever it needs to reach, and it holds or makes some sort of impact in the trajectory of your journey. A lot of people are running around in circles. Excuse me. So, like I said before, let's do it short but sweet. And until next time, we will win the race at a turtle's pace. Before we can fight the power, we must first gain the power to fight. We must build these calluses not in our hands, but in our mind, and prepare for the battles to come. I salute you. I love you because I love myself. God bless you. Take care. Until next time.
This one is dedicated for the children of the sun. Each one, teach one, takes time to succeed. This one is dedicated for the children of the sun.
Reencarnación de Tupac Amaru.
That's hot.
De Tupac Amaru.
That's hard.
Yo soy la reencarnación de Tupac Amaru.
Too real.
De Tupac Amaru.
I know you've been patiently waiting, miseducated, anxiously aching for a blue eye to say it, but I'ma do you a favor. Unlearn what you've learned. The roof is on fire, let that motherfucker burn. Babylon's on fire.
Babylon's on fire.
The devil's a liar.
The devil's a liar.
They know that they time's up.
They know that they time's up.
So wise up and rise up.
Wise up and rise up.
Soy la reencarnación